The Galactic Council chamber had witnessed many historic moments across its 3,000-year existence, but none quite like this. Representatives from 47 species sat in their designated alcoves, their various forms of communication creating a low, respectful murmur that had become the chamber's signature ambiance. At the center of it all, two humans stood trial, the first of their kind to ever appear before the council. Adnan Khan, a 26-year-old xenoarchaeologist, kept his dark eyes fixed on the crystalline floor beneath his feet. Beside him, Nehal Rashid, a linguistics specialist only 2 years his junior, maintained the same defeated posture they'd held for the past 6 hours of deliberation. The charges against them were severe: unlawful excavation of a protected archaeological site, disturbing ancient artifacts of unknown origin, and worst of all, endangering galactic security. The Zephyrian Counselor, a being of pure energy contained within a geometric prism, pulsed with authoritative light as it spoke. The defendants will rise for sentencing. Adnan and Nehal stood slowly, their movements heavy with exhaustion and despair. They had tried to explain their discovery on Kepler 442c, tried to make the council understand the significance of what they'd found, but their words had fallen on deaf ears, or whatever auditory organs these beings possessed. Humans, the counselor's voice resonated through the chamber's translation matrices. Your species stands accused of crimes that could have unraveled the very fabric of galactic peace. The Tomb of Whispers has remained sealed for over 10,000 years for good reason. Adnan's jaw clenched. He couldn't remain silent any longer, not when they were being condemned for what could be the greatest archaeological discovery in galactic history. With respect, Counselor, you don't understand what we found down there. The inscriptions, the technology, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. It could revolutionize our understanding of silence. The command came from the hegemony representative, a massive creature that resembled a cross between a spider and a crystalline formation. Your reckless curiosity has already done enough damage. The seals were placed by the ancients themselves. No species should tamper with such things. But we didn't just tamper with it. Nehal spoke for the first time in hours, her voice barely above a whisper. We communicated with it. A ripple of shock coursed through the chamber. Several representatives began speaking at once in their native tongues, creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, harmonic tones, and electromagnetic pulses. Impossible, hissed the counselor. The ancients disappeared eons ago. Their technology is beyond comprehension even for us. Adnan looked at Nehal and she gave him the slightest nod. They had nothing left to lose. Then let us show you, Adnan said, his voice gaining strength. The artifact we found, it's not just a relic. It's a communicator, a key, and a warning all in one. The ancients didn't disappear, Counselor. They're sleeping. And something is coming to wake them, Nehal added, her scientific training overriding her fear. The artifact showed us visions, mathematical sequences, star charts pointing to the edge of our galaxy. There's a signal approaching, something the ancients feared enough to hide from. The chamber fell silent except for the soft humming of the life support systems. Even the most skeptical representatives seemed to lean forward, their attention captured despite themselves. The counselor's light dimmed to a barely perceptible glow. You dare claim to have unlocked ancient technology where our greatest scientists have failed for millennia? We didn't unlock it, Adnan said, his voice carrying a new determination. It unlocked for us. Don't you see? Humans are young, unprejudiced by thousands of years of failed attempts. We approached it with curiosity, not reverence or fear. The artifact recognized something in our neural patterns, Nehal continued. Our chaotic thought processes, our tendency to leap before we look, what you call our recklessness, it called adaptive unpredictability. The ancients built it to respond to minds like ours. Murmurs of disbelief and intrigue filled the chamber, but before anyone could respond, a deafening alarm began to sound. Emergency lights bathed the chamber in harsh red illumination as automated systems announced an incoming priority transmission. The main viewing screen materialized above the assembly, displaying the image of Admiral Koreth, commander of the Galactic Defense Fleet. The Altarian's usually composed features were twisted with panic. Council, we have a situation. Our deep space monitoring stations are detecting massive energy signatures at the galactic rim. Something's coming through the void between galaxies. The energy readings are... They're unlike anything in our databases. The counselor's light flared brightly. Admiral, elaborate. Whatever it is, it's big. Multiple contacts, each the size of a small moon moving at impossible speeds. Estimated arrival at the outer colonies, 47 standard days. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives began shouting orders and questions. But through the pandemonium, Adnan's voice cut like a blade. Stop! The word exploded from his throat with such raw emotion, such primal human anguish at being ignored when the galaxy was in danger, that it seemed to physically reverberate through the chamber. In that moment of absolute silence that followed, something extraordinary happened. The ancient seal embedded in the chamber's floor, a relic so old that most had forgotten its purpose, began to glow with the same ethereal light they had witnessed on Kepler 442c. Geometric patterns spread across its surface like living fractals, and when they reached the edges, the seal projected a three-dimensional star map into the air above. The map showed their galaxy, and approaching it from the void beyond, a swarm of dark objects moving with predatory intent. But more importantly, it showed points of light scattered throughout their galaxy, sleeping guardians waiting to be awakened. The Zephyrian counselor's form flickered with what could only be described as awe. The Watchtower seal? It hasn't activated in over 8,000 years. The ancients left more than just warnings, Nahal whispered, her eyes reflecting the map's glow. They left instructions. And they've been waiting for someone brave enough or foolish enough to listen. Adnan stepped forward, his fear replaced by purpose. The artifact on Kepler 442c isn't just a communicator. It's a key to awakening the ancient defense network. But it requires human neural patterns to activate fully. We're not just archaeologists anymore, Counselor. We're the galaxy's last hope. The chamber remained silent as the implications sank in. Two young humans, initially brought here as criminals, had just become the most important beings in galactic history. The counselor's light pulsed slowly, rhythmically, as if deep in thought. Finally it spoke. Then perhaps it is time the galaxy learned what human determination truly means. Defendants, your charges are dismissed. Welcome to the War Council. As alarms continued to sound and the ancient seal pulsed with renewed life, Adnan and Nehal exchanged a look that contained both terror and hope. Humanity was about to prove its worth to the galaxy. Whether the galaxy was ready for them or not, the ancients had chosen their champions well.